Felicia Adams kissed her daughter goodbye, clipped a leash onto her golden retriever, and stepped into a perfectly ordinary Thursday morning. By noon, she'd become a ghost. No screams, no footprints, just silence. The dog returned home alone, leash dragging behind him like a funeral procession. Her coffee cooled on the counter. Her phone lit up with texts she'd never read. And the last security camera to ever capture her face? It glitched, just for 3 seconds, as if the universe itself hit pause. But here's what keeps detectives awake. Felicia didn't vanish in some shadowy alley. She disappeared in the one place we all think we're safe, the middle of our own lives. October 12th, 2018. 7:03 a.m. Felicia Adams steps onto her porch, the autumn air crisp, her breath visible for just a moment. She waves to Mr. Perkins across the street, who's fetching his newspaper. She texts her husband, James, "Pick up cilantro for tonight? Love you." She clips the leash onto Bruno, her golden retriever, and sets off down Willow Lane, a route she's walked 1,217 times before. By 7:17 a.m., Bruno is back. Alone. The leash dangles from his collar, scraped raw, as if torn from a hand mid-stride. Felicia's phone pings in the kitchen at 7:19 a.m. A weather alert. Clear skies. 0 chance of rain. But here's what claws at the logic of everyone who's tried to solve this. The last security camera to capture Felicia isn't on some desolate highway. It's outside Maplewood's post office, where she's seen smiling at 7:11 a.m. 6 minutes later. Bruno bolts home, without her. 6 minutes. That's 360 seconds to evaporate from a tree-lined street where curtains twitch with nosy neighbors, where a school bus idles, where life is so loud with ordinary noise. Yet no one sees her. No one hears her. And then there's the glitch. At 7:12 a.m., the feed from the town's only traffic camera, pointed at the intersection Felicia had to cross, stutters. 3 seconds of static. When it clears, empty pavement, just fallen leaves swirling in her wake. The police called it a missing persons case. The FBI labeled it suspicious. But the locals? They don't say her name anymore. They call it the unmaking. Because how do you vanish from a world that's watching? How do you leave behind a dog, a phone, a half-written grocery list, but not a single fingerprint, not a strand of hair, not even a scuff mark on your shoes? Felicia Adams didn't run. She didn't scream. She didn't bleed. She simply stopped being here. And what I'm about to tell you, it'll make you wonder if any of us are really here at all. Maplewood isn't just a town, it's a postcard. A place where the diner still serves pie a la mode for $3.50, where the librarian stamps due dates with a thunk that echoes like a heartbeat, and where the only traffic light hasn't turned red in 15 years. Population 3,200, but ask anyone here, and they'll tell you it's really 3,201. Because Felicia Adams? She's still on the census. Her name lingers on the volunteer sheet at the animal shelter. Her favorite booth at Rosie's Diner, second from the window, salt shaker slightly loose, remains empty, as if reserving space for a ghost who might wander back in. Walk down Willow Lane today, and you'll see it. Her red brick house with the hydrangeas she planted, now overgrown, twisting into skeletal shapes. Her silver SUV sits in the driveway, a layer of pollen and autumn leaves frosting the windshield. The keys dangle from a hook by the door, right beside a sticky note in her handwriting. Dry cleaning at 4. Upstairs, her daughter's bed is still made with the frozen comforter Felicia tucked her into the night before she vanished. The air smells faintly of her vanilla perfume, the kind you'd find at any drugstore. Ordinary, unremarkable, devastating. But here's what chills me. Maplewood itself refuses to move on. The town clock tower? It stopped working the day Felicia disappeared. The mechanic swears he's fixed it 6 times, but every night at 7:11 p.m., the exact minute Bruno trotted home alone, the hands freeze. The high school still awards the Felicia Adams Memorial Book Prize every year, even though her face fades a little more from the photo in the trophy case. And that coffee cup she left on the counter? No one's touched it, not even to wash away the ring of dried latte foam clinging to the ceramic. This isn't a town haunted by ghosts. It's haunted by normalcy, by the unbearable truth that Felicia didn't vanish from some fog-drenched highway or shadowy alley. She disappeared between bites of toast and the clatter of dishes in a place where everyone knows too much, but saw nothing. Maplewood isn't just frozen in time. It's trapped in a question no one can answer. How do you lose someone who never really left? Felicia Marie Adams wasn't just a name on a missing poster. She was the kind of person who'd return her shopping cart to the stall and straighten the others left behind. A woman who folded her laundry before it finished drying because wrinkles set in fast. Her co-workers at Thompson & Briggs Accounting still talk about how she'd fixed the office printer with a paperclip and a sigh, muttering, "It's just logic, people. Logic. Routine. Order." That was Felicia's religion. James, her husband of 11 years, keeps her spice rack exactly as she left it, alphabetized from allspice to zeater. She'd lose her mind if the cumin was out of place. He laughs, but the laugh cracks. Their daughter, Lily, now 9, wears Felicia's old cardigans like hugs she can't get anymore. "Mommy hated the cold," she says. She'd make hot chocolate with extra marshmallows when the wind howled. But here's what claws at the heart of this mystery. Felicia's life had no dark corners. No secret debts. No burner phones. Her internet history was cookies and rain boots and how to prune hydrangeas. She volunteered at the library every Thursday, reshelving mysteries but never reading them. "Too much chaos," she'd say. Her idea of rebellion was adding an extra scoop of sugar to her latte. So why her? Why the woman who color-coded her calendar, who texted ETA 6:15 p.m. if she was 5 minutes late, who'd never missed a single parent-teacher conference? The police dug into affairs, midlife crises, even cults, nothing. Her therapist of 4 years described her as remarkably self-aware, but content. Almost too content. But maybe that's the problem. Because when someone's life is this spotless, this airbrushed, you start to wonder, was there another Felicia? A shadow self even she didn't know about? Or did something or someone see her order, her predictability, and think, perfect, she'll never fight back. And then there's the voicemail. 3 days before she vanished, Felicia left a message for her sister. "Had the weirdest dream last night. I was standing in our childhood kitchen, but all the clocks were running backward. Mom was there, but she couldn't see me. It felt loud. You know, like silent screaming. Her sister deleted it by accident. The only copy? Gone with Felicia. Let's break this down minute by minute, fact by fact. Because in mysteries like this, the truth isn't in the big moments. It's in the tiny cracks between them." October 11th, 7 p.m., Felicia tucks her daughter, Lily, into bed. They read Charlotte's Web, Lily's favorite, stopping at the page where Charlotte writes, "Some pig in her web." Felicia bookmarks it with a grocery receipt. Later, she folds laundry while watching the Great British Bake Off, texting her sister. "Paul Hollywood would hate my shortbread. Too crumbly. Person shrugging female sign, ordinary. Unremarkable. The last normal night." October 12th, 6:30 a.m., Felicia wakes up. She drinks black coffee with exactly 1 sugar cube, scrubs the mug immediately, and leaves it upside down on a dish towel. James later tells police, "That's just her. Everything had its place." 7:15 a.m. Felicia clips the leash onto Bruno, her golden retriever. Security footage shows her wearing a gray hoodie, jeans, and scuffed sneakers. Same outfit she'd worn every Thursday for months. She waves to Mrs. Henderson, her 82-year-old neighbor, who's watering pansies. They chat about the weather. "Supposed to rain tomorrow," Felicia says. "Better grab an umbrella." Mrs. Henderson replies. Felicia laughs. It's the last time anyone hears her voice. 7:17 a.m. Bruno bolts home alone, leash dragging. The clasp is bent, the metal warm, as if yanked hard. But Bruno's fur? No mud, no burrs, no signs of a struggle. He trots inside, drinks water, and naps. 7:19 a.m. Felicia's phone buzzes on the kitchen counter. A weather alert. Clear skies all day. James, still half asleep, texts her. "Forgot to ask. Need anything else from the store?" No reply. He assumes she's busy walking Bruno. 8:30 a.m. Felicia's work email pings her boss. "See you at 10 for the quarterly review. FYI, the Mercer account has a $412 discrepancy. Still tracking it down." Her laptop remains open on the kitchen table, cursor blinking on an unfinished spreadsheet. 9:45 a.m. James leaves for work. He doesn't notice Felicia's car still in the driveway. She sometimes carpooled with her friend Diane. He'll later tell police. "I figured today was one of those days." 11:07 a.m. Felicia walks into Maplewood Post Office. Surveillance footage shows her buying a sheet of butterfly stamps. Clerk Tara Nguyen remarks, "She said she was mailing Lily's birthday invites. Told me to save the date, November 8th. Felicia pockets the stamps. They're never found. 12:15 p.m. Felicia's Fitbit records her last heartbeat. 72 BPM. Normal. The device later shows she walked 1.2 miles total that day, all before noon. 12:30 p.m., Diane texts Felicia. Running late for lunch. Still on. No reply. 1:13 p.m., a gas station 214 miles south of Maplewood charges $42.73 to Felicia's debit card. Declined. The clerk, Luis Garcia, describes the customer. Asterisk, white woman, mid-30s, navy peacoat, sunglasses. Looked annoyed. Said she'd pay cash instead. Asterisk, he swears it was Felicia. But here's the problem. Felicia's debit card is found in her kitchen junk drawer. She hadn't used it in days. 1:30 p.m., James calls Felicia. Straight to voicemail. Hey, did you take the car? I'm at the store. Can't find the cilantro. He buys parsley instead. 2:45 p.m., Felicia's co-worker Mark emails her. Where'd you go? Boss is pissed. The email sits unread. 3:10 p.m., Felicia's Instagram account posts a photo of a foggy road. Caption, lost and found. The post is deleted 17 seconds later. Instagram confirms the login came from her home IP address. Her phone, still charging in the kitchen, shows no activity. 4 p.m., James returns home. Felicia's car is there. Her phone is there. Her laptop is there. Her coffee cup is there. But Felicia? Gone. He calls Diane. Have you seen her? 4:30 p.m., police arrive. No sign of forced entry. No fingerprints, not even Felicia's, on the doorknobs. Bruno snoozes on the couch. 5:45 p.m., officers canvass the neighborhood. Mrs. Henderson insists. I was gardening all morning. Never saw a stranger. Never heard a car. 6 p.m., Felicia's sister, Rebecca, drives to Maplewood. She checks Felicia's email, finds the deleted Instagram post. The photo's metadata shows it was taken in 2016, on a family trip to Vermont, a road they'd never driven. October 13th, 1:13 a.m., exactly 24 hours after the gas station incident, Felicia's debit card is used again, at a rest stop 300 miles north of Maplewood. Approved. The card was still in her house. The security cameras malfunction. 8 a.m., FBI takes over. They scan Felicia's devices. No search history for Vermont. No drafts of lost and found. No evidence she planned to leave. 11:07 a.m., a postal worker delivers Lily's birthday invites, stamped and sealed in Felicia's handwriting. The invites are addressed correctly. The stamps? Butterflies. But the postmark? October 12th, 9 p.m., after Felicia vanished. 48 hours later, the FBI holds a press conference. We're exploring all avenues, they say. Translation, we've got nothing. So let's recap, Felicia's last. Confirmed sighting is at 11:07 a.m. in Maplewood. Her card is used 200 miles away at 1:13 p.m., despite being in her house. Her Instagram posts a decade-old photo from a place she's never been. Her daughter's invites arrive stamped after she'd already disappeared. The math doesn't add up. The timeline doesn't bend. Unless it does. Unless time itself split open for Felicia Adams, pulling her into a loop where past, present, and future blur. A glitch. A slip. A crack. Or maybe it's simpler. Maybe someone wanted us to think it was a glitch. Maybe Felicia's killer, or Felicia herself, is a clockmaker winding us all into circles, knowing we'll chase the ticks until we forget what we're chasing. But here's the cruelest twist. Time keeps moving for everyone else. Lily turns 9. The pansies die. The spice rack gathers dust. And Felicia? She's stuck at 11:07 a.m. forever, buying stamps, smiling at the clerk, stepping out into a sun that never finishes rising. The Maplewood Police Department isn't used to mysteries. Before Felicia vanished, their biggest case of the year was a stolen lawn gnome. But within hours of her disappearance, they realized this wasn't a local problem. This was a black hole. Let's start with the car. Felicia's silver SUV sat untouched in the driveway, dust settling on the hood. Forensics swept it for prints, DNA, even skin cells. Nothing. Not Felicia's. Not James'. Not even Bruno's paw prints. It was cleaner than a showroom model. Too clean. Like it had been wiped by someone who knew exactly what they were doing, the lead investigator said. But here's the kicker. Felicia's keys hung by the door. If someone took her, why not take the car? Then there's Bruno. The golden retriever trotted home with his leash still clipped to his collar. No scratches. No mud. No signs he'd been dragged or fought. Veterinarians checked him for sedatives, toxins, even hypnosis. Yes, hypnosis. Nothing. Bruno acted like he'd just finished a normal walk. He even napped in his usual spot by the fireplace. So why did he bolt home alone? Dogs don't abandon their owners, unless they're spooked by something humans can't see. Next, the gas station sighting. 200 miles south of Maplewood, a clerk named Luis Garcia swore under oath that Felicia walked into his shop at 1:13 p.m. She bought a Diet Coke and a bag of pretzels, he said. Looked pissed when her card declined. Paid cash instead. He described her navy peacoat, her sunglasses, the way she tapped her nails on the counter. Like she was in a hurry. But Felicia didn't own a navy peacoat. Her closet was full of bright cardigans, and that gray hoodie she wore every Thursday. When shown a photo lineup, Luis pointed to Felicia without hesitation. That's her. I'd bet my life on it. But here's where the story unravels. The gas station surveillance footage from that day? Corrupted. All 12 cameras glitched for exactly 93 seconds. The techs called it a random hardware failure. The FBI called it convenient. And then there's the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, the ones who profile serial killers and cult leaders. They spent weeks dissecting Felicia's life, convinced they'd find a hidden pattern. A stalker, a secret online persona, a history of sleepwalking. Nothing. Her emails were spreadsheets and grocery lists. Her texts were full of heart emojis and reminders to water the plants. Her browser history? Recipes, rain boots, and a 10-minute YouTube tutorial on fixing a leaky faucet. One agent wrote in his notes, "Victim is aggressively normal. No red flags. No flags at all. The only crack in the case? The Instagram post. 3 hours after Felicia vanished, her account uploaded a blurry photo of a foggy road with the caption, 'Lost and Found.' The FBI traced the login to her home Wi-Fi, but her phone, laptop, and tablet were all idle at the time. No drafts. No deleted files. Just a ghost post. When agents asked Meta for the photo's metadata, they hit a wall. The file's creation date doesn't match the upload date, a Meta rep said. It's like someone copied and pasted time. Then came the whispers. Maplewood's rumor mill churned out theories. The double theory. A woman who looked exactly like Felicia was hired to throw off the timeline. But why? And who could afford such a perfect lookalike? The time slip theory. Felicia stumbled into a rift in reality, vanishing into another dimension. The FBI laughed until a physics professor from MIT testified that the math doesn't rule it out. The Vanishing Club. Online forums lit up with claims that Maplewood sits on a disappearance hotspot. User at TruthSeeker99 posted a map of missing persons cases dating back to 1892, all within a 5-mile radius of Felicia's house. The FBI dismissed it as coincidence. The town didn't, but the darkest theory came from Felicia's own sister, Rebecca. She told police, "What if she's still here, watching us, trapped in some loop we can't see?" It sounded crazy, until the EVP recordings. A paranormal investigator snuck into Felicia's house one night, armed with a spirit box. When he asked, "Felicia, are you here?" the device spat out a garbled voice. Slowed down, it sounded like, "Time's wrong." The audio leaked online. The FBI confiscated the recording, called it inconclusive. For months, investigators chased shadows. They re-interviewed James, polygraphed him twice, tracked his alibi down to the minute. Clean. They dug into Felicia's co-workers, her friends, even her dentist. No grudges. No secrets. One detective wrote in his journal, "This isn't a case. It's a magic trick. And we're the audience staring at the empty hat." The final nail? The birthday invites. 3 days after Felicia vanished, Lily's party invitations arrived in the mail. Stamped, sealed, and addressed in Felicia's handwriting. The stamps? The butterflies she'd bought that morning. The postmark? October 12th, 9 p.m. But Felicia was already gone by noon. The FBI tested the ink, the paper, the glue. All authentic. All impossible. In the end, the case was shelved as a non-family abduction. A label that means we have no idea. The lead agent retired 6 months later. His parting words to the media? Some doors shouldn't be opened. Felicia's is one of them. So where does that leave us? With a dog who didn't bark, a car that's too clean, a post office stamp that defies time, and a question that claws at the edges of reason. Can a person truly vanish, or do they just step into a blind spot the world refuses to see? The police say the investigation is ongoing. The family says they'll never stop searching. But Maplewood? It's already writing its own ending. Walk through the town square at night, and you'll hear it. The faint tap-tap-tap of a keyboard from Felicia's empty office. the creak of her porch swing, rocking in time with the wind. And if you listen close, under the rustle of dead leaves, a whisper. Time's wrong, time's wrong, times. Maybe Felicia's trying to tell us something. Or maybe we're just hearing what we want to hear. Either way, the case remains cold. But the fear? It's alive. The stories we tell ourselves to fill the void where facts should be. Because when a woman vanishes into thin air, the world doesn't stay silent. It spins wilder and wilder tales, desperate to make sense of the senseless. But in Felicia Adams' case, the truth isn't just slippery. It's unhinged. Theory 1, the perfect escape, she staged it. That's what the cynics say. Maybe Felicia wanted out from her marriage, her job, her life. But here's the flaw. She left behind Lily, her 6-year-old daughter, whose tears stained the frozen comforter Felicia tucked her into the night before she vanished. No mother who chooses to disappear sends birthday invites from the void. No one fakes a life this meticulously for 34 years just to abandon it without a single breadcrumb. And then there's the money. Felicia's savings? Untouched. Her passport? Gathering dust in a bedside drawer. Her Google searches? Best stain remover for grape juice. Hardly the blueprint for a new identity. Theory 2. The secret double life affair? Cult. Spy. The tabloids salivated over this one. But Felicia's texts were a tapestry of grocery lists and inside jokes. Don't forget the cilantro. Lily lost a tooth. Is it trash day? Her emails? Spreadsheets and dentist appointments. Even her sister, Rebecca, admits. Felicia's idea of rebellion was using the good china on a Tuesday. The FBI ripped apart her devices, hunting for encrypted apps, burner phones, hidden folders. They found nothing. Nothing. Just a woman who lived her life in the glaring light of normalcy. Theory 3. The predator in plain sight, human trafficking. The phrase makes our skin crawl. But Maplewood isn't a highway rest stop. It's a town where strangers stick out like fireworks in a library. The gas station clerk's sighting, 200 miles south, hints at a kidnapper's route. But why take Felicia? No ransom call. No bragging manifesto. And why leave Bruno, the golden retriever, unharmed? Dogs bark. Dogs bite. Yet Bruno trotted home, leash dangling, as if whatever happened didn't need silence. Theory 4. The glitch. This is where logic starts to fray. Reddit threads exploded with terms like time slip and simulation error. The corrupted security footage. The Instagram post from a road Felicia never drove. The debit card used in 2 places at once. Even tech experts whispered, "This isn't hacking, it's rewriting." A MIT physicist, Dr. Elena Voss, floated a theory on a late-night podcast. If time is a fabric, Maplewood might be a loose thread, a place where reality frays. She cited the 93-second camera glitch, the postmarked birthday invites, the Fitbit data showing Felicia walked 1.2 miles after her heart stopped recording. Time isn't broken, Voss said. It's been folded. Theory 5. The void. Now we step into the dark. Maplewood's oldest residents swap stories about the void, a patch of earth near Willow Lane where people vanish every 40 years. Not random souls. Women. Mothers. In 1978, Felicia's great-aunt Clara disappeared while hanging laundry. Same street. Same October chill. Before that, 1938, a schoolteacher named Martha Hayes vanished while grading papers. Their names are etched in the town's cemetery, headstones bearing no bodies. Just dates and the phrase, "Gone home." But here's what curdles the blood. After Felicia vanished, a construction crew dug up Willow Lane to fix a gas line. They found a child's shoe from the 1940s, a locket with Martha Hayes' photo, and Clara's wedding ring caked in mud, all buried 6 feet down, directly under Felicia's hydrangea bush. The police called it a hoax. The town called it proof. Theory 6. The unseen witness. Then there's Lily. 6 years old, now 9, she still draws pictures of her mom standing in a big white room with no doors. When asked, she shrugs. It's just a dream. But 3 different child psychologists, experts in trauma-induced delusions, say the same thing. Her details are too consistent, too specific. In every drawing, Felicia wears the same gray hoodie, the same scuffed sneakers, and the clock on the wall, always stuck at 7:11. The unthinkable theory, and finally, the one nobody wants to say out loud. What if Felicia never existed at all? What if she's a story Maplewood told itself? A collective hallucination. A ghost who didn't know she was dead. After all, her childhood photos show her hugging a stuffed rabbit. The same rabbit found in Lily's toy chest, down to the missing left ear. The town's records list her birth certificate, her marriage license, her dental bills. But when a journalist dug deeper, the files dissolved. Misfiled. Lost. Admin errors, the county clerk said. So where does that leave us? Staring into the static. Every theory bends, every clue contradicts. The police say, active investigation. The family says, waiting for answers. The town, they've started locking their doors at 7:11 p.m. They avoid Willow Lane. They whisper about the Adams curse, a hex that eats mothers whole. But maybe the answer is simpler. Maybe Felicia's still here, trapped in the click of a turning lock, the tap of a keyboard, the hum of a porch light left burning through the night. Maybe she's in the pause between seconds, the breath before a scream. Maybe she's the shadow you swear moved when you weren't looking. Or maybe she's just gone. And the scariest thing isn't how she vanished. It's how easily we could too. Let's pause here. Breathe. Because this is the moment where the story fractures. Where we stop chasing Felicia and start chasing something far darker, ourselves. You see, we dissect her case like surgeons hunting for clues because the alternative is unthinkable. What if Felicia's disappearance isn't a mystery to solve? What if it's a mirror? A reflection of a truth we've spent our lives ignoring. People vanish every day. Not in the dramatic, headline-grabbing way. Not with glitching cameras or corrupted files. But quietly, invisibly. The barista who always memorized your order, then one day didn't. The coworker who stopped laughing at your jokes, stopped showing up, stopped existing in your orbit. We tell ourselves they moved. They quit. They're fine. But what if they're not? What if they're unmade, erased not by malice, but by the universe's cold indifference? Think about it. How many faces do you see every day? The woman who jogs past your house at 6:15 a.m., rain or shine. The man who walks his terrier at the park, always whistling the same off-key tune. Now ask yourself, if they vanished tomorrow, would you notice? Or would your brain autofill the gap? Oh, they must have changed their route. Maybe he moved. We do it to survive, to pretend the world is solid, predictable. But Felicia's case rips that lie wide open. Her porch light still glows every night. James still texts her old number. Lily aced her spelling test. No delivered receipt. No reply. Just silence. But here's what chills me. We've all felt that silence. That voicemail from a friend you forgot to return. That cousin you haven't called in years. That neighbor whose name you never learned. We tell ourselves there's time, until there isn't. And then there's the static. The noise we drown out. The hum of your fridge. The buzz of streetlights. The faint click your phone makes at 3:33 a.m. for no reason. What if that's not random? What if it's the sound of the world, buffering, skipping like a scratched DVD? Felicia's Fitbit recorded her walking 1.2 miles after her heart stopped. Her Instagram posted a photo from a road she'd never seen. Her daughter's birthday invites arrived after she'd already gone. Time isn't a straight line here. It's a scribble, a rough draft. The police called it isolated. The town called it cursed. But I'll tell you what it really is, a warning. Felicia didn't vanish because she was special. She vanished because she was ordinary. Replace her name with yours. Swap her daughter's frozen comforter with your cat, your bookshelf, your morning routine. How many of us are one glitch away from becoming a question mark? A closed case? A sticky note on a detective's wall? We cling to logic because the alternative is chaos. But deep down, we all know the truth. Reality is thinner here. In Maplewood, in your town, in your home. It's why you double-check the locks tonight. Why you stare too long at a shadow. Why Felicia's story doesn't just haunt you, it fits. Like a key you didn't know you'd lost. So I'll ask you this. When you shut off this video and go back to your life, to your emails, your errands, your clockwork days, pay attention. To the coworker who's been absent with the flu for weeks. To the friend whose texts got shorter, then stopped. To the stranger you pass every day who suddenly isn't there. Because the scariest part of Felicia's story isn't that she vanished. It's that we're all just here. Until we're not. And no one, not the FBI, not the physicists, not the wide-eyed true crime addicts, can promise you'll stay. 5 years later, the porch light still burns every night at 7:11 p.m. James Adams swears it's just a habit. Forgets to turn it off, he says. But Lily knows the truth. She's seen him standing at the window, staring down Willow Lane, his breath fogging the glass as he whispers, "Cilantro's in the fridge, babe." To the world, James has moved on. He coaches Lily's soccer team. He grills burgers on Sundays. He even dates again, a nice woman from the next town over who doesn't mind that he keeps Felicia's spice rack alphabetized. But when the nice woman stays the night, he sleeps on the couch. The bed he shared with Felicia remains half-made, her pillow untouched, still dented from the last time she rested her head. Maplewood, too, plays its part. The town clock tower finally started working again last year, but it's always 7 minutes fast. The post office retired Felicia's favorite butterfly stamps. Discontinued, they said, but the clerk still keeps a sheet under the counter, just in case. At Rosie's Diner, the regulars leave Felicia's booth empty, though they'll deny it if you ask. Just bad luck to sit there, they mutter. Seats wobbly. But here's what they don't say. Every October 12th, the town holds its breath. The librarian tucks a copy of Charlotte's Web into the staff picks shelf. The gas station clerk, Luis, leaves a Diet Coke and pretzels by the register until they expire. Even Bruno, now gray-muzzled and slow, refuses to walk past the hydrangea bush Felicia planted. He sits whining until someone tugs him home. And Felicia? She's everywhere. In the way the leaves swirl in the exact spot she vanished, as if caught in an invisible updraft. In the glitch that still plagues the traffic camera. 3 seconds of static every October 12th at 7:11 a.m. In the birthday cards Lily writes her mom, stealing them with butterfly stamps and dropping them into a mailbox that hasn't worked since 2018. The postman humors her. He knows they'll come back, return to sender. The ink smudged by rain, the stamps untouched. We tell ourselves closure is a real thing, a door you can shut, a case file stamp solved. But some mysteries don't end. They seep into the soil. They hum in the wires. They linger in the way you pause just for a second when your phone glitches at 3:33 a.m. Or how you study strangers in navy peacoats a beat too long. Felicia's vanishing isn't a story with an ending. It's a ripple, a scar, a question etched into the air. How do you mourn someone who never got to leave? James still has Felicia's voicemail saved. The one where she laughs. You forgot the cilantro again? Typical. He plays it for Lily sometimes, when she forgets the sound of her mother's voice. But last month, something shifted. The voicemail changed. Now, after Felicia's laugh, there's 3 seconds of static. And if you listen close, buried in the noise, a whisper. Wrong place, wrong time. The police say it's a technical error. James says it's nothing. Lily? She draws a new picture. Her mom in that white room with no doors, but now there's a window. Outside the window, a street lamp, a hydrangea bush, a porch light left burning, and beneath it, a man who looks like James, but older, staring at a clock that's always 7 minutes fast. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe we don't solve mysteries like Felicia's. We live inside them. We water their gardens. We keep their porch lights on. We become echoes of the people we loved, haunting the spaces they left behind. So tonight, when you lock your doors, when you kiss your kids, when you scribble a grocery list, cilantro, stamps, detergent, pause. Listen to the hum of your fridge, to the creak of your house settling, to the silence between heartbeats. Because the ground beneath your feet isn't as solid as you think. And the people you love, they're just here, until they're not. And all that's left is the echo of a question no one can answer. Where do we go when the world forgets to look?